just came very close to home.
2 people killed when a single-engine plane crashes in the middle of a Broomfield neighborhood. We have the latest from investigators.
We'd like to try to stop the next tragedy.
Coloradans are getting checks in the mail.
Every Coloradan will get $500 per person, $1,000 per couple.
The governor signs a law so we can get our Tabor refunds sooner. And the White House is monitoring a monkeypox outbreak, affecting hundreds of people around the world with confirmed cases here in the U.S.
I think people should be careful.
Plus, the Avs are back on the ice 2 days after this controversial hit in Game 3 against the Blues.
I'm just going out there to try to win and compete.
New at 11, investigators are giving more details about a deadly plane crash in a Broomfield neighborhood. 2 people were killed when the single-engine plane crashed in the Anthem Ranch subdivision yesterday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us for Denver 7 News at 11. I'm Jason Gruenauer. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is live in that neighborhood. And Veronica, what are investigators telling you?
Less than 1 minute in the air. That is what NTSB officials and investigators say, the amount of time that that plane was in the air before it crashed. Now, the FAA and NTSB are both investigating what exactly happened here. So far, they know the 2 people who died in that crash, they were pilots and they had these private pilot certificates. They say the plane got about half a mile from the runway in the air, made a left, and then impacted a tree and then the ground here. Officials also say there were no witnesses to the crash, but there was at least one person who witnessed the plane's takeoff and spoke to police about it.
We do have one witness on the departure path that heard abnormal issues with the engine. He's an experienced pilot. He described those issues as carburetor coughs, 2 carburetor coughs during the departure leg, and then he heard the aircraft impact the ground about less than 10 seconds later.
And that NTSB investigator also telling us that there are 2 areas of interest. One is the flight's shallow path, as well as 6 propeller marks that were left on the ground here. It could be more than a year until we know the cause of that crash. We're in Broomfield this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Veronica, thank you. Now, this is the 2nd deadly crash in Broomfield this month. A pilot died after another single-engine plane crashed near El Dorado and Interlaken on May 11th. He had taken off from Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport. Officials said today they do not believe there is any kind of connection between those crashes. Denver police are looking for the person who shot 2 men and 1 woman in Denver. The shooting happened just after midnight near Lawrence and Park, which is not far from the Denver Rescue Mission and the Samaritan House. Police have not released any kind of information on a suspect. And a separate triple shooting has police asking witnesses to come forward. Police say the shooting happened yesterday afternoon in Aurora at an apartment complex off of Havana and Exposition. The shooting started after a fight in the parking lot. The 3 victims, they are expected to be okay. A program to boost safety at Aurora businesses is seeing a lot of demand. As Denver 7's Christian Lopez reports, the city is now seeing hundreds of applications.
Applications for the grant program opened earlier this month, and so far around 300 businesses have applied. The city had originally planned to use $3 million for this program, but now they're trying to bump that up to $4.5 million. Eligible businesses, organizations, and nonprofits could receive a $20,000 grant to purchase things like lights, cameras, alarms, or other security features. This is double the amount of money the city had planned to give out originally. It's to cover more expensive components. It's all a part of Aurora's Business Safety and Security Upgrade Grant Program, and a big chunk of the money would be used specifically for businesses near East Colfax. When the program launched earlier this month, the city told us they're doing what they can to help reduce the amount of crime.
Council has decided to help some of these small businesses really deter some theft and burglary, some break-ins that have been happening. So this will help these businesses with some safety glass and some film on the glass that could help with gun violence.
That new amount of money, the $4.5 million, still has to be approved, but grant money is available on a first-come, first-served basis. That'll be through June of 2023, unless that money runs out sooner. Reporting in Aurora, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
This is really important because costs have gone up, and we want to make sure Coloradans can hold on to more of their hard-earned money.
Governor Jared Polis signed the Colorado CASHBACK bill into law today, making sure Coloradans will get Tabor refunds faster. Now, single filers will get at least $500 and joint filers will get at least $1,000. Polis says the amount is higher than originally thought because of the state's strong economic performance in the month of April. The money might even be a little higher based on May's performance. Checks should arrive in August or September. The governor will also sign some other measures today. One simplifies the adoption process for parents conceiving through assisted reproduction. Another bill is about water conservation. Well, Pfizer is ready to submit its kids' coronavirus vaccine to the FDA for emergency use authorization. It would protect kids younger than 5. Aaron Katersky reports.
Pfizer said 3 doses of its COVID-19 vaccine are 80% effective at preventing children 6 months to 5 years old against symptomatic COVID infection. 18 million children under 5 have been ineligible for a vaccine, but shots from both Pfizer and Moderna are expected to be authorized for this age group early this summer, likely as a 3-dose vaccine for Pfizer and 2-dose vaccine for Moderna, though Moderna is studying a 3rd dose. Each shot would be 1/10 of the adult dose.
Those data are being looked at very closely right now by FDA experts. And my expectation is that as soon as that analysis is done, probably within the next few weeks, we're going to get that expert outside committee, the VRBPAC, and then after that, FDA is going to make a decision. So my hope is that it's going to be coming in the next few weeks.
School-age children in Philadelphia are wearing masks again.
I didn't realize that we were in high. I just found out reading it last night and getting the emails and whatnot from the superintendent, so I'm all for it.
The school district reimposed a mask mandate amid a rise in cases. Infections are rising all over the country, but in New York, the mayor said he would not reinstate an indoor mask mandate despite a recommendation from the city health department.
COVID pivots and shifts. So we're not going to panic. We're going to continue to be prepared. That's the key.
The mayor, however, said wearing a mask indoors is a good idea. Public health experts agreed.
I feel that very strongly, that in crowded indoor spaces, in places with high transmission, people should be doing that. And our job, certainly in the administration, is to make sure that people have access to masks, people have access to vaccines, access to therapeutics, and testing. All of that we're working on as well.
The Biden administration is planning for a wave of infections this fall and winter. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
Taking a look at Colorado's COVID-19 cases, we have been seeing a slight increase in cases since late March. Last week, state health officials said they're monitoring that uptick in cases, but say it's not as bad compared with other COVID-19 waves. There are concerns about a global monkeypox outbreak, though. President Joe Biden says it's something everybody should be concerned about, but says the virus is not the same or on the same level as COVID-19. Now, monkeypox is a virus that causes a rash like chickenpox. It's typically found in Africa. Confirmed or suspected cases outside of Africa total just around 200, with 2 confirmed cases in the U.S.
I would not be surprised if we see a few more cases in the upcoming days. Anytime we have an infectious disease outbreak like this, we should all be paying attention.
Monkeypox symptoms may resemble those of the flu, and it can cause blisters. The White House says we do have vaccines to protect people from that virus. The first batch of federally flown-in baby formula is now in the U.S. The Biden administration flew in formula from Europe over the weekend. A second round of formula will land outside Washington, D.C. later this week. It's part of Operation Fly Formula to address the baby formula shortage.
It's going to be delivered in hospitals and home health care clinics all across the country. This shipment provides enough formula to take care of 9,000 babies and 18,000 toddlers for a week.
But that amount of formula will barely scratch the surface of fixing the shortage. 10 states and Washington, D.C. are reporting more than half of their supply is gone. The USDA expects the crisis will ease within the next 30 days or so. Abbott Nutrition, the largest U.S. manufacturer of formula, says its facility will start making formula next month, but that won't be available to families until July. The Biden administration is considering releasing diesel from a rarely used U.S. stockpile. It's to ease a diesel shortage hitting the U.S. as diesel prices climb to more than $5.50 a gallon. Some analysts say releasing diesel reserves would have a minimal impact on prices and would only help for a short time. That stockpile was last used in 2012 after Superstorm Sandy. Well, diesel prices are going up, and so is the price for regular gas. AAA has the national average at $4.59 a gallon. That's a jump of more than 50 cents in the past month. Colorado prices are a bit lower at $4.14 a gallon. And the rise in gas prices will have some kind of impact on Memorial Day plans. AAA says nearly 70% of Coloradans are adjusting their travel plans.
They weren't going to stop traveling. They were just making some adjustments. Maybe they're going to stay in a hotel that was a little less expensive, or they're going to bring a picnic instead of eating in a restaurant.
AAA says the busiest times to travel will be Thursday and Friday afternoon. Some areas may see twice the normal traffic during those times. You can now book reservations to visit Hanging Lake. They went live at 10 this morning. A temporary trail is set to open in about a month. That's on June 25th. Hanging Lake has been closed since last year because of flooding and mudslides. Permits are $12 per person. You can get them at visitglenwoodsprings.com. You'll also need reservations to visit Rocky Mountain National Park, Pikes Peak, and Mount Evans this year. Those reservations open starting Friday. Mount Evans is scheduled to open this weekend, but that could change depending on the cleanup from that most recent snowstorm. Coming up, will it be fight night in St. Louis? We preview the Avalanche Game 4 following this controversial hit in Game 3 that knocked the Blues goalie out of the game and out of the series. Plus, China is responding, and the White House is clarifying comments from President Joe Biden about Taiwan.